So I think the first logical step is to go through everything that you need when you first get your bunny. So Ghost was the first bunny that I was solely responsible for, and when I adopted him I started to put in some research, and when I started looking into it more and more, I started to realise exactly what I was getting into. But when I started putting those things into practice, the rewards for it was greater than I actually ever imagined. So in future videos I'll be going through all these points in a lot more detail. But first I think it's important to start on a basic checklist just to make sure that you start on the right foot. So in no particular order, let's begin, shall we? Not only will you need something to bring your bunny home for the first time, as the cardboard boxes provided in some places can give way, you'll need it for when you take him to the vet for their checkups and immunisations and so forth. So you want to get something that's hard-sided, well ventilated, and something that's large enough so that your bunny can do a comfortable 360 turn and move around in it. Yes, there are a lot of fabric options out there. However, until your bunny gets more comfortable around you and is more confident when it's being carried around, they're going to need something that's a bit more secure and won't close in on them. So, hay consists of between 80 to 90% of your bunny's diet. They need it to grow and to help digest everything. That's right, they literally use it to push their poop out. Bunnies, you'll come to know, love to chew. In our household, we call it the spicy hay. The reason is that from birth to death, their teeth are constantly in a state of growth. So aside from, well, you know, practically everything else in sight, hay contributes vastly to keeping those teeth trimmed and will help prevent dental issues later. For baby bunnies, to help them put on weight and grow, it's recommended that they use alfalfa hay. Later on, say about 6 months and above, Timothy hay is the best one. Okay, it's a little bit more expensive and I'll be covering it in another video, but it really is the best. Plus, if you continue to use alfalfa hay, they're going to put on too much weight, which can cause health problems later. If anything, this is just for cleanliness. It's just good practice for them to know that their food and drink belongs in the one place. It's also good in a way for your bunny to have something to signal you that they need more food. This is because their digestive tract needs to be constantly moving. So if they go without food for too long, then it's going to make them sick or actually worse. Plus, as far as the water goes, it's not really good practice to use a water feeder. Nowhere near enough comes out of it. Bunnies can actually drink as much as a large dog, so they'll need to be able to really gulp it down when they want to. So let's put it this way, after a really long day, a long run, jog, whatever you're doing, on that first drink, do you just use a straw? Or do you just chug it down? It's absolutely no different for bunnies, so keeping a nice, refreshing, cool bowl of water for them to go to town on is exactly what they need. And here's a bonus tip. I really do suggest using something that's made out of china or hard plastic that has a larger area at the bottom, otherwise they have a tendency to flip it over from time to time. So, if there's one thing that bunnies do more than eating and chewing, it's, well, pooping. A lot. So naturally, it's a good idea to have somewhere that bunnies can do that all in one place. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna have to vacuum every day anyway, but at the very least, most of it is in the same place and it's where they're going to be urinated once you've trained them. And it's actually something that I'm going to get into in another video, but bunnies, believe it or not, are actually very good at being trained. They respond really, really well to it. But the best way of ensuring good bathroom habits is to get them spayed or neutered as soon as possible, as this will alleviate the need to mark their territory. It will also go a long way to preventing various other health issues such as cancer and various other things. So, not unlike a pet carrier, you'll need a litter box that's big enough for them to comfortably execute a 360 degrees turn. Plus, while it's not necessary, I do recommend something with a top on it. Not only will this give them privacy, but they do have a tendency to spray a lot, and this will cover your walls at some point, and it's good to have that barrier. It is important that you provide a good 3 meals a day that consists of a good handful of salad, such as romaine lettuce. They really shouldn't be fed too much root vegetables such as carrots and broccoli, as it can be bad for the tummy in large amounts. However, as a small treat, I do give Ghost small amounts of apple and carrots, and he's just fine. Just don't overdo it. So this one is actually a fussy eater, and it took a lot of trial and error to find out exactly what he would eat start to finish, and to finish his bowl on a regular basis. So this is what I get for Ghost, which he can't get enough of. You can find the link to this in the description below. Don't worry, not all bunnies are like that. This one is just spoiled. Ain't that right? So one of the themes that you'll see on my channel is that I'm a huge advocate for free roaming bunnies. They do not belong in cages. There just simply isn't the space for them. However, there are situations where a playpen is ideal. This could be when you have guests or children over. You might not have bunny-proofed the place quite yet, and there might be some places in your home where it's not quite safe for them to go yet. Or there might be a situation where you're going on holiday, you go to a pet-friendly hotel, and you need to keep them secure. You don't exactly want the bill for the skirting boards being gnawed to death, do you? This is where a playpen might be ideal. You can make them as big or small as you need them to be, and it will provide your bunny with the space that they need to be comfortable and get their exercise. So while there are some bunny proofing supplies which are an absolute must, it's actually more of a play by ear kind of situation. Okay, cord protectors are a must, and also storage boxes won't go amiss either, as anything that's on the floor is going to be chewed. Obviously make sure they're supervised, but just let them go about the place and just see what they do. For example, other than Ghost, I actually had another bunny called Greywind, and he never went for the skirting boards. He never cared less, but Ghost, that is a completely different situation. So not unlike cord protectors, there are actually things called skirting board protectors, which I'll also link both of them in the description below. But my point is, it's actually up to your bunny to guide you to see what you actually need for them, because no bunnies are the same. A good comb is essential for your bunny's health, as they will be constantly molting, and it will be needed to help them shed their fur, especially when it comes to places like their rear end, or if your bunny has special needs. The type of comb and brush is important too. So bunny skin is much thinner and more sensitive than other pets, so please steer clear of pokey bristles. You can find the link to something that's cheap but effective in the description below. My best suggestion for a few extra quid is the Hairbuster comb. It specialises in small pet grooming, and also it has that rubber at the base of the bristles so it can cling onto that fur. And it's just going to make it a lot easier to remove. I have a link to this in the description. The other item you'll need to use maybe every few weeks or so is a good pair of nail clippers. Your bunny won't be trimming their nails on their own, so you'll need to do it for them. If you're really unsure, then the vet can do it for you the first time, and they'll be able to tell you how to do it properly. But it will save you a lot of time and expense when you learn to do it properly by yourself. And it's not just all about the health and safety of your bunny, it's also a really good bonding experience as well. These are usually made of wood and cardboard, but you can also use hard plastics such as baby toys and cat toys. Honestly, they just love to throw them around. Not unlike my glasses. However, just to let you know, it can be a little hit and miss on what toys they like, so it might take some trial and error. Just be sure that you've got a large variety of toys that they can use, so you can alternate them so they won't get bored so easily. A digging or chewing box is a great boredom breaker, as you can see for the one that I created for Ghost. A friend of my wife has actually called it his office. The point is that the more that you can keep them entertained, the less likely they are to choose something that they're not supposed to. Just like the spicy hay. So, some bunnies might have special needs, or they might have extra sensitive tummies, or there might be some other issues that might make your bunny sick, such as stress and loud noises. So it's a good idea to keep a few feeding syringes around with critical care food and medical supplies just in case. And I'll leave a link below for the critical care food for when your bunny hasn't been eating or isn't able to eat. But I really do strongly suggest that you speak to the vet first about what medical supplies that you should be giving your bunny and when. And you might not be able to get to all those rough places where it's difficult to get to when you start combing them, and they might start ingesting their own fur. And that poses a high risk of their digestive system being clogged up, which can lead to GI stasis, and you'll need to take them to the vet. But honestly, there can be a wide range of things that might make your bunny sick. It's just as if that they're your child. It's just best to be safe than sorry. So, because bunnies don't have any padding on their paws, unlike cats and dogs, they don't do very well on hard or slippery surfaces. To give them some confidence to move around and perform their zoomies and binkies, which we all love so much, carpets or runners are a must. And here's a pro tip for anyone who might be renting a space and can't risk the damages. It's worth investing in carpet tiles. All you need to do is lay them down with some double-sided tape. This will provide all the friction and stability your bunny needs. So somewhere within the next few videos, I'll be going through how to set up your litter box in the way that I do with Ghost, his diet, and our daily routines. But if there's anything that you'd like me to expand upon on future videos, then just please let me know in the comments. Smash that like button if you got any value from this content. And I'd like you to consider subscribing for more content on bunny care and bunny lifestyle. Because it's like I always say, at the end of the day, it gets dark.